Hey everybody, so it's time for us to say goodbye to Starbase. Unfortunately, Starbase has not been doing well. Many of you probably already knew this. The reviews have pretty much bombed on Steam over time. It's down to mixed reviews, and the population's extremely low. I think only a couple of hundred people at peak hours at this point. Lori apparently has disappeared. The head developer of this and of the company. And yeah, basically they announced that they weren't going to do the blogs anymore, apparently. They are going to be pushing up a bunch of changes, though. So the new moon mining and bases, capital ships, heat mechanics, hangar halls, blueprint update, alloy furnace, recycler, speed meter, new tripods, and the rail cannons. All that kind of stuff and the universe changes and all that is going to happen very soon. Expect it to go soon. A lot of things need a lot of polishing, though, so it's kind of being pushed anyways, I think, at this point. So, yeah, there's not much for me to say. Like, the game isn't shutting down, but basically, the developers are saying, that's it for now. It sounds like Pip doesn't even have a job. She's been put on extended leave at this point. Which, honestly, like the second I heard the music in the game when I turned it on, it just reminded me of Pip and her voice and talking about the updates and all that. Like, it was like the best part of Starbase, honestly. I know this is Lori's baby, but in many ways, I always will see Starbase as, Pip is kind of the mascot, and for me anyways, of Starbase. Not Bob. Bob had a phase, Bob got old. But Pip is, for me, has been like the, always like looking up the updates and videos. And even now, I still, listen to them, even though I haven't played Starbase in a while. For me, why I've stopped playing Starbase, I love PvP games, but I'm not a big PvPer. I do love the idea of going in a group. We go out and do something crazy, which we did for a while. But those groups got smaller and smaller, and, it was better to travel in multiple ships than one ship. And unfortunately, those times kind of diminished. But a big part of these games are the economy. And the economy, as many of you know, went downhill really, really fast. Basically, what ended up happening is, you go out mining and you come back, and it was better. You'd make more credits vendoring the resources than you would actually selling them to other players. And then when it came to building something more complex, it was a lot of times worth less than it was to vendor that. So like, you make something really complex, usually you get a bit more credits, right? You put some effort into that. No, you don't. And then that research grind, which wasn't bad, but it was kind of bad in many ways. And then obviously there wasn't a reason for people to PvP. And even if there was, even with all the sieges and, the hotspots that people wanted and stuff like that, I think just because the way the economy went, it just, there's not enough nooks and crannies, not enough pieces. And I think there was just too many people like me who loves going out mining and farming and things like that. It didn't work out. And, in many ways, I do wish this game had PvE. But then again, that's not the aim of this game, and nor would I say, well, the game failed because it didn't add, player versus environment type content, or PVM if you want. Because, a lot of things you do, I said, is PvE. You go out mining. To me, that's PvE if you're not engaging in PvP. You go into building your ships, you doing this and that, doing trade runs, things like that. To me, all that was considered PvE. But I guess I felt like there could have been a bit more of a universe, more things like that to do on the side. Because I think when I play a lot of games, if I'm playing a lot, and you're in a time when people don't play 1 or 2 hours like they used to anymore. A lot of people put way too much time in games. You like little nooks and crannies to do. You take World of Warcraft example, horribly bad example because completely two different games. But for example, you got raiding, and then you got your daily grinds and all that. Ugh. But then, you take somebody more casual, which is pretty much the majority of the player base, especially now. I used to be a hardcore raider in WoW. But then there's going and farming mounts and pets and all these little doodads kind of things, working on those achievements. And those are those extra side things that people love to do in MMOs to kind of make that living MMO feel a little bit more alive. And, so you have all these little things you can do during your downtime instead of just always tweaking and building a ship or mining. That's literally what you have here, like mining and, everything else, and crafting is like just a tiny part of these games when there's so much other little meats and potatoes. And I guess in many ways those are missing. So I'm not saying, hey, we need to go out and farm mounts, obviously, or go kill mobs. But I guess there's these little things in the game that just didn't, keep a lot of people interested. There's like, what am I going to do today? Am I going to go mining, or am I going to build a ship? And when you're mining and there's not really anything to put it to or anything fun, or a lot of your builders are going missing, or you already have the collection, you can see how it gets bored really fast. So somebody who played the game that doesn't mind playing in a world where PvP exists, and you're hoping these battles would happen, the economy would spark up, and people would want even the most basic ores. They're trying to build their ships and stations and their capital ships and everything else. Like, it was going to be really exciting and a lot of fun. But unfortunately, even with this update, that won't happen. I can guarantee you that. And now with, like I said, Lori's disappeared. I don't think Lori's posted in like a month or so almost. And one of the biggest things I remember Lori saying like a year ago is that they had enough money here to fund this game for a decade. I think it might have been like, the quote might have been like several years or something like that. But the idea is, we were under the impression that Lori would never give up on this game, and then that this game would would survive even if no other player existed, because it was Lori's passion. And he would continue, developing this game and keeping going because they had more than enough money. And now I'm hearing people like Pip is being, basically not let go, but, in an indefinite leave of absence at this point. And that's just the shocking and upsetting part. Like, obviously, if they're cutting their staff out, then that's it. I mean, like I said, Pip alone is, a special part of this. How many other staff members are like this? They, no one else has said, came up in front and said, oh, we left, or we quit, or we have been laid off, or whatever. That's just one person out of the pile who just said openly on Discord that they had walked, that they didn't walk away, that they've been put on a leave of absence. So it really sucks. It is the end of Starbase. Is Starbase dead? Yes, if you want to define your silly dead of, is there thousands of players in it as an MMO? No. It's a tiny ass game. I've run Minecraft servers with the population this game has. So that's not trying to be insulting in that sense. Yeah, it's dead. I mean, a game like this requires thousands and thousands of active players. In fact, it requires tens of thousands of active players to make it special. And, the whole universe was supposed to grow. Remember, it was supposed to be new star systems and everything else, and things would just move and progress, So they probably can't even do that, because if they were to expand it any more than what we already have, you would never see a player ever again. It probably is that for other players now. They probably go on and they don't see another player for several hours. So anyways, I want to just let you guys know I love Starbase. I love all the people who put the work into the Starbase. I love the community of Starbase, and I love Starbase itself. I hope you don't take this as me trying to chew, Starbase's head off or anything like that. I just think, unfortunately, things that, probably a lot of things we don't know what's happening in the background is not going to plan. And unfortunately, we're back in the same situation. Another amazing space game is not doing so well. And it kind of really makes me sad, because it's like, are we going to end up having friggin' Star Citizen actually release someday? Is that what's going to happen? Star Citizen actually becomes one of the most popular games out there that actually successfully releases. And maybe even worse, it's actually playable and enjoyable. And this entire time when the whole world was waiting for some decent space games, friggin' Star Citizen somehow is the one that pulls through it. Honestly, I want to jump off a cliff right away if that happens. Like, I mean, that's beyond shocking and horrifying. And, my channel is not about making fun or hating or giving negative reviews. I'm always trying to be positive, as you know. But, like, just imagine, like, if Star Citizen ends up being the one that pulls through. Oh, God. I'm just saying, like, oh my. Anyways, I wish everyone luck. If you guys got new space games or anything you're checking out, let me know. And, big thanks to, members of the community like Kaintor. That guy rocks. He started his channel from no one, and now he's got 10,000 subscribers. And all he did was basically, he's been doing other things as well, but he mostly covered Starbase, grew from Starbase, and had kept, covering as much Starbase as possible. And that guy had dedication. And even in his voice, you could tell he's a bit depressed and sad from, how this game has gone. And that even made me sad because, his passion was this game. He kind of threw everything into it. I'm kind of like a dog. I see a squirrel run and I disappear. It's the only reason why I didn't have, 50 or 100 episodes of this game. There was only so much you could do. Plus, it was a PvP game. Like, I'm there with my mates and stuff like that. You can't really record things and, not all the time. And, I got a little lazy publishing some of the stuff that we did, but like at the time, you don't want to record and then put it out there because people will be like, oh, that's your base out in the belt there kind of thing. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to shut up now. And I hope you guys find something to do. And I do hope, the best of luck with Starbase and their development team. I hope somehow they can find their way. And I hope, in a few years we'll be back in Starbase, or maybe less even possibly. And it just, does a 360, do they call it, no scope or whatever, and comes back from the dead and really, changes things. But at this point, I'm going to have to say Starbase, you rest in peace. Thanks, guys.